fuck happened?
What's going on, everybody? This is Trend Kill Radio, a rock news show about all things rock, except for when it's not. Brought to you by the Foundry Concert Club right here in Cleveland, Ohio. I am your host, Sean Ryan.
And I'm Coley Colgate, back again.
I know, we are back. It's been weeks, and I apologize. I apologize from the bottom of my heart, but there hasn't been anything to talk about.
There hasn't been jack shit to talk about.
There hasn't been. Sharon Osbourne, the most most newsworthy story, which is not newsworthy for this show. Sharon Osbourne left the talk.
Wow. Who cares?
I've never watched that show in my life. I have no idea.
Viewers of that show care.
and the singer from Rat got the old drummer from Rat, and they're back together now.
They're ratting around. Love it.
Round and round. What goes around comes around. Well, that was stupid. Anyways, before we get started, please just subscribe, hit the like button, and let's just get going. Soundgarden, if you are a fan of rock news and you read any of the papers, any of the charts, any of the, all that fun stuff, Soundgarden, you will see that Vicky Cornell, the widow of Chris Cornell, and the remaining members of Soundgarden, they are constantly suing each other nonstop. It just doesn't end.
Dislike there. A lot of dislike.
It's been going on since Chris died, and it's really sad because it's been years. It's been at least, four or five?
At least, yeah. And I have to imagine it was probably prior to that, too. It was just not as talked about because Chris was there. So I can't imagine these people ever liked each other. You know what I mean? She's the Yoko. That's what it feels like.
Yeah. And we're going to get into a whole lot more of that. But according to Blabbermouth and Billboard, Chris Cornell's widow has accused surviving members of Soundgarden of wanting to access the band's social media accounts in order to maliciously defame her, provoke her online stalkers, and instigate third parties to harass her and her minor children. I'm going to say underage. That feels weird.
Good. But that's like a huge thing to say. You only want these accounts so that you can have me harassed and harass my kids, which maybe there's some truth to that, but that's a really specific reason to say, no, you can't have these accounts, right? I mean, that's what I feel like. Being a guy in a band, if someone in my band passed and the social media still existed, I feel like it should belong to the band, but she sees it differently.
Yeah, and you know what? Another thing, if she's accusing the band of wanting to have these social media accounts just to solely sully her name, it's already happening.
Yeah, well, she's kind of doing a good job herself.
It's already happening. It's been going on for years.
Yeah.
Okay, so, I mean, if anybody's on Soundgarden's side, they're already shit-talking Vicky Cornell. And hopefully not the kids, I went whoa, why would they say anything like that? And then I realized, this is the human race. This is America.
People suck. I'm not questioning that people aren't doing that, but I don't think it's as
tawdry? Yeah,
I don't think it's as bad as maybe she's saying. Maybe there's one or two people who are really aggressive about it, which sucks. But at the same time, I mean, if you look in their fucking Soundgarden's fucking in DMs, I'm sure they have 1,000 people to her one person, you know what I mean? So who's saying negative things or stalking or wanting to know everything about the band or whatever the fuck it might be, you kind of, when you date someone and you marry someone, you have children with someone who is a rock star, that sort of comes with it to an extent. But at the end of the day, I mean, I don't really know if this should be a court case, but here we are.
Vicky Cornell, currently, she has the passwords and the usernames for all of Soundgarden's social media and their websites. I mean, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, every single thing you can even think of. There's a couple on there I've never even heard of.
Pinterest, which is weird. Who would have thought Soundgarden had their own Pinterest page? But apparently they did.
According to Billboard, the original members that are still surviving claim that their socials were previously managed by the then management company Patriot Management, but they were terminated, which means I think they were fired. Sure. In 2019 by, I'm assuming, Vicky Cornell.
That would be my guess.
She holds on to all the usernames and passwords for all the websites having anything to do with Soundgarden, although she's never, ever once been in the band. Never wrote a hit.
It does go deeper than her just having control. Her argument is that she not only created the accounts, but she also ran the accounts for years and years and years, even while Chris was still alive. And that the guys in the band never had anything to do with these accounts unless they wanted to plug, a solo thing or something, beneficial to them. They never gave a shit about any of the social media. And now that Chris is gone, they really want it. But I think that she's looking at it on that level, like, you never cared before. Well, they didn't have a reason to care before. Chris was here.
Vicky's lawyer has obviously come to her defense. That's what he's paid to do, even if it's wrong. He's come out and said a few choice words. Coley, you got that one?
Yeah, I do. His name is Marty Singer. That's the lawyer's name. And he put out a statement that reads, Miss Cornell's forthcoming motion will expose the truth about Soundgarden's supposed social media accounts. Miss Cornell created the social media accounts, grew the accounts by allowing them to trade on Chris's then existing popular accounts. She also devoted her personal time and money into growing these accounts as Soundgarden displayed absolutely no interest whatsoever in social media, unless, like I said, it was to further promote their own solo projects. Miss Cornell has overseen these accounts for close to a decade. The fact that Soundgarden is unaware of the usernames and passwords for their alleged own accounts kind of confirms their utter lack of involvement in creating, growing, and maintaining these alleged accounts. I'm not gonna lie, that makes a ton of sense. Again, if I, as a band guy, if I'm the only one doing all the social media, or my wife or girlfriend for 10 years, and then I'm gone, and all of a sudden now they have an interest, that's gonna spark something in me or whoever to say, whoa. You didn't care for the last 10, 15 years about any of this. Why do you care all of a sudden? But at the same time, she is not Soundgarden. She does not need these accounts, and that's my opinion.
I know. If I may digress, like, I understand what you're saying, but I mean, maybe they never had a stake in it in the first place. Maybe that was Chris and Vicky's whole domain. As internet popularity became a thing, that you needed to have social media to get this stuff going and reboot Soundgarden as they did many a year ago. But I'm kind of reminded, like, if I may digress, Motley Crue, they had a manager before they were ever signed. He spent a bunch of money. He built them up. He bought them food and boots and an apartment, and helped press their records and their cassettes and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And you know what? As soon as they got signed to Elektra Records, they went bye.
Yeah, and that happens. I mean, it sucks.
And he walked away basically penniless, from what I've heard. And it's just like, well, that's it. That's exactly what's going on here. Chris, I'm sorry, is dead. She has nothing to do with this shit anymore.
No,
I mean, she can go ahead and get her royalties, and she can get her money from his solo albums and his likeness and whatever all she wants, and whatever Social Security or whatever insurance, blah blah blah. She has nothing to do with the band.
She's not hurting.
Yeah, she has nothing to do with the band anymore. She's out.
If it came down to the situation where Chris had his own personal accounts, which I don't know if he did or not. I don't even know how active Chris was on social media. But if he had his own accounts, sure, she could absolutely have those. Absolutely, that's her right. But to take something from the band, whether they were invested in it or not, it's still at Soundgarden. It's not at Vicky Cornell. You know what I mean? So the future is social media. The future is internet. And if she's going to hold on to these things and do nothing with them, or very limited things with them, and essentially kill the band in that process, that's stupid and that's dumb, and I think it's petty. But at the same time, I also understand, if this is something she built, obviously she doesn't want to lose it. If she really did invest all of this time and money and effort, then sure, I get it. But who knows?
All right, so just pay her off whatever money that she sunk in. Just have her give you the receipts, give her that money, blah blah blah, and buy. Okay, but release the usernames and passwords.
At the end of the day, all this is doing is just fucking hurting the band and the legacy of the band. And it's hard. I mean, Chris Cornell being Chris Cornell, I mean, I'm not going to tell you, you obviously know, being the rock star, the enigmatic figure that he was and has continued to be even after his death, this is hurting the legacy that was already there, I think. And if she were smart, she would fork it over and let the band continue to do what they need to do to keep that revenue stream coming, so she continues to make royalties. But she seems like she's very petty, which is probably why they hate her so much, and it's probably why she hates them so much.
I know they probably have like a behind the scenes thing.
Oh, that behind the music
that
probably
happened for a long time.
Yeah.
Moral of the story: Vicky, you didn't write Black Hole Sun. Shut up. And that is the end of this episode of Trendkill Radio. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please be sure to watch our old episodes. Thank you guys so much once again. Please subscribe, hit like, leave a comment if you like. Hopefully it's in favor of Soundgarden if you have a brain. We'll see you on the other side. We'll see you next week. Thank you so much. This is Trendkill Radio.